Now, I'm super excited to talk to you today. You have many titles: entrepreneur, music exec, author, professor, dad,
Yeah.
brand builder. Am I missing
Yeah.
any titles?
Nah, that might sum it all up, man. Shoot. Yeah, yeah. Kind of covers it all.
Yeah, you have a lot of titles. I think most of the public was introduced to you as, the man behind Lil Wayne.
Hmm.
But I want to talk about how you got started in the industry, specifically how it wasn't really traditional how you got started.
Yeah, my start was literally, I didn't know I was going to be in the industry. I just had a talented best friend who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. I was at Jackson State University. I wasn't a music major. They didn't have that didn't exist. And he just called me senior year and said he never had a manager and asked um, asked would I do it, and it was literally a leap of faith that we just had to figure it out. It was my best friend. I prayed on it, got my calling, and I had to protect him, and jumped out there and just kind of figured it out. So that was literally the start. Not knowing anything, taking a leap of faith and kind of figuring it out and using the skills, the life skills I had growing up in New Orleans, the things that I learned at Jackson State, and kind of applying those to figure out my way.
I was going to ask you, everyone I've talked to is from certain cities across the country. Always feel like, where they're from shaped them in terms of like, business. You feel like New Orleans shaped you, and I get in Jackson State and that experience. And if so, how?
Absolutely. I mean, just being from New Orleans, you taught survival. I think everyone, if you grew up in New Orleans, you have that instinct to survive and to figure it out. So coming to the music business, it literally was that. I mean, I had a little cheat code. I'm not gonna, it's not like Wayne wasn't already moving and doing, at least had regional success, had a couple platinum albums already. So I wasn't like a couple of these young managers that literally had to figure it all out. I had a little step in the door from Wayne's success. My goal was just try to make him a global international star. So I was blessed to have at least that to able to go make some money first while I figured out the other pieces of it. But that survival instinct, everybody's you could ask anybody from New Orleans, they'll tell you, you grew up there, you probably could survive anywhere in this world. And I believe that's a true thing. As far as Jackson State, I was in the marching band, the Sonic Boom of the South. All the skills that kind of I learned, even on the drum line at WT, leadership and the working together attitude, like all those things I kind of applied, with starting the company and starting my own management company. And to this day, still use some of those things. I still consider myself a little introverted, but I had never been outside of the walls of New Orleans that early in my life. So Jackson State was really the first time I met people from different places around the country. So you got to think to be a manager, you got to be out there selling and meeting other people and meeting other people that may not, be from the same places you have, the same type of cultures that you do. So I had to be comfortable in those spaces. And then there was a couple classes that kind of popped off, especially my advertising class and understanding how how corporate works and how corporate understands advertisers and reaching their consumers, that allowed me to help break down doors for all my artists when it came to branding and sponsorships and even Wayne getting deals when he got Tats in his face grills and everybody know what he raps about, but getting corporate deals. So I took strategies from these different classes that I took and applied it, and it worked and it helped. That's why I love Jackson State, has always been giving back to that school.
Right. What did you plan to do before you got that call from Wayne? What was your plans?
I actually had a job offer to CNN. I was a broadcast production major, so behind the scenes, holding the camera, editing. So I was in the media world, and I had worked at a couple internships working at news stations while I was in Jackson at school. So I turned in my resume tape and applied for this entry-level editing program they had, and got accepted. So I was literally heading there, and thought I was going to be doing that, even though I really didn't like it at the time, because I was super pro-black. It was like, yo, the news controlling everybody got there in mind. I don't want to goddamn be in this. So I was kind of happy that happened, but that's where I was headed.
In Atlanta?
In Atlanta, yeah.
Okay. So I read in an interview where you said, like, at the beginning when you first started managing, when you got scammed off the bat.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
First freaking thing I did, I was still at Jackson State, man. I started it's been 18 years now. I started January 2004. So the very first show I booked ever, was in Dallas, Texas. And sure enough, I got scammed. Manager, janky promoter named Moose. I don't know what I remember dude's name. I can't remember what he looked like.
Not Moose.
Big old black dude. His face looked like a damn moose too. Right? But I haven't saw him since. That's crazy. 18 years I haven't saw him since. I hope Karma caught his ass, because he got me that first time. And I was ready to quit, because literally I was flying from Jackson State that last semester, that January. I just started leaving while I was taking my final few classes. I'll leave on the weekends, book shows. That was the first thing I did. I had to figure out Wayne, I was trying to get money. So I was just booking shows and trying to find ways to book everywhere I can, and not knowing nothing. I did it, luckily we got half the money, and we had flight tickets back home. So it took me hours to go back to that hotel room and tell Wayne,
but you didn't say what happened. You said he scammed, but you didn't what happened?
He just get there. I get there. We checked in the hotel. I'm thinking it's good, because we got the front end of the money, we got deposit, we got our flight info. So I'm thinking it's straight. So it came time. Now, mind you, in the beginning, it's only literally me, him, and my young homie Maul, who's playing an assistant role. It was just three of us, but I was security, DJ, everything. So I was going to the club to literally set up as the DJ, collect the back end of the money before Wayne got in. Same time, dog, same time. I get there. Right. And it's about 10 o'clock. I'm the promoter, yeah, we're going about 12 at this time. It's 10. There's nobody in there, right? So I'm yo, where, he talking. I'm yeah, let's sell it up where I set up at, and he kept going in and out. And this about 11, nobody's still coming to this damn place, and nobody walked in. Maybe by 12, it may have been 5 people in there, right? And I'm still yo, dog, what's up with the back end? Right now, I've been here for a couple hours, and he was yeah, I got you. I'm waiting for my man to pull up and and then all of a sudden that motherfucker disappeared. And I'm sitting at this venue. Mind you, gave me a ride. He can't pick me up. Oh, no. There wasn't no Uber 14 years ago, 18 years ago, I'm sorry. And he came to pick me up. And he just disappeared. And it was this one dude. And I just met a bruh. I'm actually going to speak Kia Gamble. I really didn't know anybody remember that story. But I met one of my fraternity brothers. I'm going to speak on this panel in this summit he has later this month in Dallas. He was actually there. Okay. And I ran into him maybe about a year or two ago, and he remembered that. I was yo, you remember that? He remembered the dude name and everything. I was bet, because I was everybody think I be tripping. And sometimes after all these years, I tell a story. I was Chance, did that really happen? But it really happened, because I remember, I ended up getting a ride from a dude. He was an accountant. That's all I remember. He was an accountant. He saw I was just in distress. I was just sitting there for maybe another hour or so, thinking about how the hell the first thing I do, I got to go tell Wayne I ain't got the money, And dude just finally drove me back home. He's man, let me give you a ride back to your hotel where y'all staying. And he was real cool, real tight. I wish I could remember who he was, because he was real tight. He really gave me some uplift for keeping my head up. And it was the beginning. I was literally distressed, and went to the room and literally told Wayne, I was in there I can't do this. I'm ready to go home. I was like, damn, I might have dropped a tear too, man. I'm like, I can't do this, man. This is like it's the first time. And he started laughing at me, you know. And he started laughing at me and was like, you and she's like, we got our tickets back home, right? He was like, that, just take it as a night in Dallas, and just use it as a learning lesson. What to look for next time, That was the very first thing I did.
Wow. Yeah. Do you think if he didn't give you that little pep talk, you think you would have quit? Like, you think you for real would have quit or what?
Going at that moment, I haven't been a quitter in my life. I don't know. I don't think I would have quit, but boy, it felt like it in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I definitely think if Wayne would have said you're fired, right, I probably would have accepted it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I can't do this. This is not for me. Let me go let me go to CNN and when I graduated and take that job. But, that was just the first step of, along the way, Wayne's always, seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself. So he showed me that and how much he trusted me as a friend, how much he trusted me as a friend, even though that very first thing I did, was not some good business. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have the discernment of working with somebody that wasn't a janky promoter.
So how do you, I guess you didn't have any experience as, everyone has to have their first opportunity in order to gain experience. But so did you just learn along the way? Did you have a mentor? Like, how did you, when you first started working with him, develop those skills and kind of understand what to do and all that?
Yeah, I just learned around the way. There wasn't no YouTube with all these, people speaking like this could tell you stories and what to do and how to do. I had a book. I think I bought a book. I bought a couple books, but I've learned really, really fast that in the music, and it was moving so fast. It was about the experience and really knowing how to move. They can't teach you in the book. They could teach me like terminology and things of that nature, but how to move, especially as a manager, and the other things that that counts of being a manager, how to get your artists to move and understanding them psychologically, putting out fires when things like that happen. That wasn't in the textbook, so it really had to be experienced. So those first couple years, it was learning on the fly, whether it was Baby and Slim and Cash Money, asking them questions when we got, first it was rocky with them when I first started. But then the situation got cool and I was able to lean on those guys. But
you were rocky with them, or what do you mean?
Wayne's situation was rocky with them at the time. That was when I think it was like we was about to go to when Jay was at Def Jam and this is the first time he knew his deal wasn't a good deal. He didn't have a lawyer. He didn't have any of these things. So I had to get him a lawyer. None of those things existed for him, so literally figuring out the business. He literally was just a kid signed to this label with, not having any lawyer look at any of the paperwork that he was signing, which helped us in the end because it gave us a loop since he was a minor when he signed the contract without a lawyer. So it allowed us the freedom to renegotiate and try to get things right. So once we got it right though, but yeah, that's when we was looking and Wayne, he rapped about it. We literally was about to go sign to JayZ at Def Jam. So when he was the president over there, that was literally a real thing. We had the contract there. But that woke everybody up. They got the deal right at that time. Cash Money got the deal right at the time. Leaning on those guys, they definitely showed me a lot about independence and being confident, which is a key thing to being in this business, especially as a manager. Confidence you have to have. Even though I didn't know anything, that's one of the first things I learned, to stand on that. So those guys, by having their own independent label, kind of walked in that. So one of the first things I picked up, and it was just as I met people, just learning, asking questions. And year 3 is when I met my partner, and that kind of changed my life. That kind of G. Roberson. At the time, he had Kanye,
Mhm.
And I knew I had reached the ceiling to where I could go,
Right.
and was looking for some type of partner
Right.
to help me out on the manager tip. And when I met him, which was just on coincidence, people were telling about him, and I think he says that people were telling him about me, and I was just outside the W Hotel in LA, and he was talking to a mutual friend. I can't remember who it was. It was like, G and Tez, and we literally like, oh, I was looking for you, and sat down and talked. What I'm saying? Realized we were the same, had the same philosophies just about business and life. What I'm
Right.
saying? How we treat people, how he looks at the business. And he made a lot of those things that I kind of knew. This was especially like my musical ear. He made a lot of it make sense, what I'm saying, about why I know these songs in my head are hit songs, and how we approach our blueprint for putting together singles and hits, and literally we formed a partnership. He had Ye, I had Wayne. We worked together and been working together for the last 15 years.
Was that when you knew? I was going to ask you, how did you know that, okay, I'm good at this? I have a gift for this. At what point did you know that?
Um, I don't think I knew that till Drake came and asked me to be his manager. Cause I didn't listen. I didn't get in the business to like be a music manager or want to be in it. I literally just got into it to help my friend out. Right. And never had aspirations to do more than that. I never aspired to have a music management company and manage plenty artists or be an executive, do all the things that I've done over my career. It was just when Drake came to me, it was like, yo, Tez, can you help me? I want you to manage me, y'all guys, and y'all managed my two of my idols. And I was like, me, what I'm saying? Because I'm 3 years in. This is literally like '07. Okay. It's like '07. So I'm still young and still figuring things out. This is when I just met G, and we had just started moving and doing things, and Drake just came right there. And I was like, damn, I must be doing something right if and I kind of told Wayne about it. I was like, yo, man, because we was courting him for Young Money.
Right.
But I wasn't even thinking about it any way else, because I still was running Young Money, the label, also outside of the management. So when he said that, I was like, yeah, go ahead, do it. And I got his blessing. I was like, all right, because when I saw him, I knew his capabilities. I'm saying? Like at that point, when I first heard him, when Jazz Prince first played me his music, and I heard how articulate he was, I was like, oh man, I can understand every word he's saying in his rap song. You know what I'm saying? I was like, geez, I was like, man, this dude is crazy. This is like the comeback season mixtape. And then when he flew in and I saw him, I was like, oh, and you light skinned? No text. I was like, oh, this is about to be a cakewalk. I was like, damn. So yeah, man, that was shit. I was ecstatic after that, and I saw it all. Then, like I said, the music, he possessed everything by him being singing and rapping. I found out he was Jewish, and later on down the line, I found out he was an actor. He took like months. We might have been at a show. I was DJing, and I never forget, somewhere in some odd town like Salt Lake City, Denver, somewhere like out there, like obscure, like not that many Black people in the audience type town. So Drake used to hang with me, and I think I'm breaking down, like the DJ equipment. I'm still DJing at the time, and I just hear people yelling Jimmy and Jimmy. It's like a bunch of white girls at the front, and I'm looking around like, are they hollering for me? Did I do a good job today? And I just see him on the side, like, what I'm saying, like laughing, not letting anyone up there talk to all the people. I'm like, who the hell is Jimmy? He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I told you I forgot to tell you, I was also a star on this show called Degrassi for so many years. I was like, wait, nigga, you act too? I was like, oh,
wait. So he didn't tell you guys?
Not in the beginning, no. and we had no clue. We weren't watching no damn Degrassi, so uh, we had no clue.
Right.
I had no clue until it was just, he came on the road. Like when he first came out and met us, he stood on the road for a bit. And um, uh, at one of the concert stops is when I found out, literally after the fact.
And Wayne didn't know either?
Nah, hell no. None of us knew. I had to go back and like, man, this dude act too, man.
What do you enjoy most about working with artists?
I think the thing that I gain the most out of is you know, like those first meetings, like with Drake, and he come and tell me, you know, where he want to get to and what's his goals and aspirations. And when we hit that moment, you know, and seeing them really reach their full potential and all their dreams, like that's what I love the most about it, you know. You know, being able to help orchestrate and fulfill dreams based off of the work I do for them. So that's the most fulfilling thing. Yeah, I've gotten out of management.
What's the most challenging part of it? It seems like a thankless job. I'm gonna be honest.
It seems like what job?
Thankless.
Thankless?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You don't get you're just don't be looking for a pat on the back or that. Nah, hell no. You gotta get used to that.
Yeah.
I think the most challenging part is the things people don't see, you know. And it's literally the being a father, being a therapist, and keeping, you know, a lot of artists, you know, they're very left brain, they're creatives, and they hold a lot of, you know, they live with a lot of emotion and they feel, you know what I'm saying? And the internet and the digital era has only made that even more complex, where you could literally see and get and talk to these artists. When I first started, those first couple of years, it wasn't a popular thing, you know.
What wasn't a popular
like
thing?
Twitter and Instagram, you know, none of those things was popular till like 4 or 5 years in, 08, 09, like when all those platforms really started shooting off. And now you got like you got critics like literally at you, you know. You know, when you were growing up, you might have been waiting for the double XL to see how many mics you got or source. So whoever gave the mics, and that probably was your level of criticism.
Right.
Or is direct and feeling it. But you know, it's them moments that you have to be there and understand your artists and know how to get them to pick them up and encourage them to go, you know. And I think those are the things, those are special skills that me and my team, we possess, that literally help us get a lot of our success. You know, yeah, with smart brand builders, think tanks, good in our ears, all those good things, you know, on the front side of it to make a superstar. But it's, you know, it's those moments where you really need that person to lean on, that we have to come through. And as far as the business, personally, the most challenging thing is the sacrifices, you know, because in management, you're putting somebody else's life ahead of yours. So that means that family, friendships, all those things, you know, become, especially with the blessings of success that I've had and the level of artists that I've had, you know, we get immersed in other people's lives. Yeah. And sometimes we, you know, don't have time for our personal loved ones, and even have time to work on ourselves. So that's literally been the hardest thing, the challenge over the years for me personally, you know, the work and the personal. So, yeah.
Why do you think you've been so successful?
Oh God. I don't know, it may sound cliche, but it's definitely, I came here knowing that my calling was to protect my friend and jump into business because of that. And from there, I just, I literally just follow the spirit of what I'm supposed to do next. I've never in 18 years have reached out to an artist and say I want to work with an artist. Every artist I personally work with, not as a company, but me Cortez personally, has came into my life at the right time and was supposed to be there for some reason for me to help them out. So that's literally how it's been. And from today, all the moves that I'm transitioning to, everything is based off of that spirit on the inside of me telling me I should go this way, go that way. You know, that's literally the key to everything that I've gained. I know that for a fact. Like I said, I'm not the smartest guy. I didn't have a music business degree. You know, I just felt like it was my purpose to be in this world.
What do you think, or what's been the biggest shift you noticed in terms of like talent management? What's been the biggest shift in since once you started to now? Or has there been like a shift or a change or anything?
Um, in talent management,
Yeah.
I think that the loyalty, I see a lot of people bouncing from manager to manager
Yeah.
and because everything's accessible now, you see what other people are doing because of social media and people think it's always greener on the other side. So loyalty has been lost on the management side of things if I see anything, And the shitty thing about management and how the business model is set up with commission-based contracts, you could work on a project and be instrumental in these artists' lives, you know. And once they say, especially if you dive into it, I only have one, they can literally get up and be like, yo, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to go work with this guy over here. You know what I'm saying? I want to work with this guy over here because this guy has a sneaker commercial or something like that. And that manager is left with anything. You don't own anything.
Right.
So it's all about, what you bring to the table at the moment. I really think that managers should get outside of the average percentages they get commission. If they're working on a project and if they are instrumental in the success of these artists' albums, just like the label, they could be on a label and the label could do the work around an album, and that artist could leave the album later, leave that record label, but as that work that record label did around that album, whatever that deal is, they still going to be eating off that album based off the work they did. You know what I'm saying? I feel like managers deserve the same thing, because it's a tough business.
Yeah. Obviously you're a Black man in this business. Are there any challenges that you experience that maybe your white counterparts don't?
Hell yeah. It's not challenges, it's the resources and access, definitely it took us years, man. All these superstars we had, there's groups of managers and that's kind of in on, especially when tech came and in on investing in Spotify and Uber and getting all these opportunities because, coming to them, it's just the other things outside of music. We had our superstars is big enough that on the music side, people had to come see us, because we had the biggest artist names in the world. So we had access to those, we was cool in that space. But it was those things outside of the business that a lot of our counterparts, whether it was artists or executives, were able to tap their hand into and make money for them, their companies and themselves. And, it was probably up until like 7-8 years ago, we had formed a strategic alliance with Live Nation with our management company, and Guy Osiri was there, very instrumental on kind of opening up doors that I was like, oh shit, we're this powerful. We ain't been in this door. Like,
right.
What's behind door number 2 and number 3? And it definitely was a real thing. It definitely was a real thing. But I think it inspired me and my partners to, once we got into these spaces, to pay it forward, to build bridges, to keep building our own verticals to help the younger people that's coming behind us. My partner Sean G is doing a great job with in the touring space and building Live Nation Urban and all the great things that he was the reason behind the arena stars and bringing Drake, Wayne, Kanye, Nicki, JayZ all the way up to that arena level star when it came to concerts and shows. And he had a gift for it, and literally transitioned and made a whole business out of it, and helping a lot of other young Black promoters and people that want to go into live touring space and building a whole lot of verticals to announce the Mary J thing today that they're doing in Atlanta. So yeah, they've been doing great things. So we told ourselves, I think it drove us to understand that we had to do more.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't just be the managers and just settle for that. We had to build bridges and build companies and put our people on investments and things of that nature. Our artists, our people, and have them invest in these different things so they could try to reach the generational wealth that our counterparts for too long has had. Okay.
Talk to me about Project Go Dark.
Project Go Dark, man, so inspired by Project Go Dark. So there was an intern working in my office, Kyle Campbell, post George Floyd. I'm in Atlanta, and they were him and his friend group. They just fresh out of college. Some may be in college. That area, they're in the streets. They're the ones protesting out there. Angry and trying to figure out how to create change. I'm saying? These youth are really active when it comes to injustices right now in society. So, and they had a whole bunch of ideas. Project Go Dark immediately started with, hey, let's take all our music. I think it's off of streaming and it was a big idea, right? Mm-hmm. And I kind of helped, I was like, listen, let's try to figure out a way where, we could streamline this. We might get to that, but let's figure out tangible things that we could do right now to kind of help create change for the Black community, And we tapped into, I was like, listen, you're a college student. He went to Boston University, but he's from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. But he had an opportunity, and he had a lot of opportunities to meet me based off of this program. I forget the name of the program he was in high school that kind of gave him guidance. But I was like, most kids don't have what you have. Most kids aren't the Kyle Campbells who was in this program that helped shape him understand what interning was about. Went to school, went to BET, interned at BET, know how to nurture relationships. You got to me. I was like, it's a big gap and a big void, and this is the same time where I'm doing all my things and education purpose is leading me that way. I was like, what if you created a music pipeline program that helps that? I was like, that's still a problem in the industry. I was like, if you're not living in New York or you're not living in LA, and you're in the city, my parents couldn't afford to fly me out to LA to work for a summer for free, or to New York to get in this business. You can't just get in this business by just applying online. It's like you got to have a relationship, or you have to have some type of experience. You can't have the experience if the jobs most of the jobs are in two cities, right? So if you are a Black kid who can't afford that, or you're not at one of these schools that have a music business program and have these guys with relationships that can place you in jobs, right? Like our counterparts have. I was like, you don't have an opportunity. So, he understood that. And I was like, listen, so my foundation, we kind of supported him, and I let the youth, I wanted to be youth driven, right? With him and his friends really doing the work and putting it all together, So what it is what Project Go Dark is, the music internship program, but it's a paid music internship program where we brought some kids to Atlanta for, based off the money we raised. Spotify gave us like the most amount of money. They gave me like 75 grand or something like that. Mm-hmm. And based on the amount we raised, we was able to pick 10 HBCU kids in and around Atlanta for the inaugural program. They came and they had like a week and a half, 2 week kind of master class on the music business. I let them teach it. You know what I'm saying? I might have came and talked to the kids 1 day or 2 days, but they kind of, the youth led, like Kyle and his team, they kind of literally got them ready. And then, I use my relationships once we kind of taught them the basics to place them in and around jobs within Atlanta, whether it was QC or theory for the PR or DTP, and Vince Phillips took like the legal based off of what the kids want to do. We placed them in around paid internships, and we paid them. So the places we put them didn't have to pay them. They was just getting free people. But we had like damn near 100 applicants. We had to narrow it down to 10. And the great thing about it is all those 10 people that were placed end up getting job offers.
Oh, nice. So
it was 100% successful. So it's something that I'm literally, if you're listening, trying to raise money right now. So if you guys want to support Project Go Dark and getting Black kids into the music business, because it's not easy.
No.
And it's still not easy. It wasn't easy 18 years ago when I looked behind the curtain and saw who was kind of running our culture at the top levels. It's still a problem within our business. So, and that was just one thing, one way we're trying to solve that problem. So that's Project Go Dark. Yes, we're trying to go into year 2. And the more money we raise, the more kids we can help. So we're here trying to get some funds. Cortez Bryant Foundation.org or .com or shit, one of them.
Okay. Talk to me about teaching at Jackson State.
Teaching at Jackson State has been a blessing, man. It's full circle for me. I said earlier, Jackson State, the things that, early in my career, I only had those skills that I picked up at that school. That school meant so much to me. That band scholarship that I got, like, to get out of New Orleans and get a college, and to get into college, meant so much to me. So it's been great to come back and give back to Jackson State. It started just as we were just talking about with Project Go Dark, creating this pipeline. There are over 100 HBCUs. It's probably less than 10 that offer music business degree programs, and it's crazy. All these years later, 2022, I could go to my hood and kids still think you got to rap, sing, or make a beat to get into the music business. Yeah. So I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So we're not even exposing the kids to all the things and all the opportunities they could get. So what I'm doing is I started with teaching this class. I want to start with careers in music. That's the class I teach at Jackson State probably for the last two years since the pandemic. And that's literally that class literally giving them exposure to all other things that they could do while they're still, they could love music and still have other careers, and literally breaking it down to like, listen, I could tell you the fluff of what the job is, but these are the skill sets that you got to have. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a manager, it's 3 things you got to be comfortable with talking to people. You know what I'm saying? You got to have hustle, and you got to have a thirst for knowledge, because things are always changing for your client. And you can manage that. Like, you don't need, you could have just core skill sets to have different positions in the music business, So I'm just giving them that spark, by trying to ignite something to them. Like, it may be core things that they know they're good at, but still don't know, like, wait, this could be a job, So that's kind of where it's starting. But the ultimate goal, which hopefully we went through the state processes, and the ultimate goal will be a 2-year certificate program, within the school. And I plan on taking this. This is just the foundation. I want to take this and I want to bring it and license it to a lot of different HBCU campuses.
Right. It's really inspiring, because I went to Morgan State in Baltimore, and I give money, but I don't, I'll come when they ask me to speak, I'll come and I'll talk, but I don't, it just like listening and reading how much you give back. It really is inspiring of, how we all should be trying to contribute. Yeah. A lot of times I feel like what they learn and like the curriculum is a little dated.
It's archaic. No, that's just that goddamn truth. That's the truth.
Yeah, it's a little dated.
It's archaic. That's why we need, that's why, I think it's refreshing for the kids, because I'm keeping it all the way 100 with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the class and I feel like I'm still within the culture, even though I'm older, you know, so
Yeah.
I feel like I can relate to them. And even, you know, like the provost at Jackson State, like that's one thing about Jackson State, you know, that I commend the president, the provost, Dr. Mosley, the music department chair, Dr. B. Rob, like they've been very open to, you know, these new fresh ideas, like literally like, yes, like here, you know this, how do you want to set this up? How do you see this working? You know,
Yeah.
how can we put this together to build this certificate program?
That's
You know,
dope.
yeah. So they've been forward thinking and very open to moving the university forward and bringing these dope opportunities to kids that may not be as archaic as some of the things that
Yeah.
they have.
Yeah. Talk to me about your partnership with Jesse Williams and I guess Assemble.
Yeah, that's you literally going through the parallel. So that's kind of the top of the top. You know, all this work I feel like is me uplifting and trying to give back to the Black community. So Assemble is it's an education tech platform. So meaning if you want to compare it to anything, if anyone know what masterclass is, if I want to break it down, you know what masterclass is, it's Black masterclass. You know, we believe representation matters. I just said, you know, about I feel like, you know, these are all ways I was trying to figure out probably within the last 5-6 years when the last president was office and everybody was divided. I was trying to figure out what was, you know, what could I do for my part to equal the playing field for Black people. And as I looked how God ordered my steps, you know, I saw how important education was, and I remember the conversation real early on from guy who was in the music business of Jewish descent, you know, who told me how they built schools when they had reparations and things of that nature, right? So, and I knew how broken and archaic the education system is in the public school system, in a lot of public school systems around this country. And also the kids are not getting exposure. You know, they don't even know a lot of things exist. And so with all that being said, it started with, I was like, I'm gonna build schools and I'm gonna use music and media as kind of the carrot stick to bring them in with a curriculum. And my partner, Courtney Woodruff, came to me with an idea, about this platform, education tech. And I also, you know, what I understand the scale, you know what I'm saying? I just said, okay, I'm thinking about building brick and mortar schools.
Right.
This, I could teach a bunch of different things and reach a bunch of different people. You know, and Jesse came with the idea, you know, he came with the symbol idea of the name and only lent it because he's been doing the work in the activism space and understanding the fight and plight, you know, to add to his juice and his resources. So we're literally building a platform with like innovators, successful people to teach how they got to where they got to, like sugar coated, no pretty pep talk type speeches, but literally, you know, how you got to. We believe representation matters. One of the first things I had in high school, where I met Wayne and Mac and Currency, all those the same school at McMahon, New Orleans, you know, there were, even though we lived in a hood, there were people that was coming back to our high school that looked like us, that were like engineers and doctors. And one thing I knew that gave me at least exposure to understand that it could be done. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these kids that grow up like I grew up, you know, when the drug dealer is the most glorified person in your neighborhood, and you're not really exposed to all these other things that could happen for you, they don't have, you know, they just don't know. They just don't know. And I feel like we're so powerful as a people. If we knew the things that we could do and how to do them, like we could conquer anything. So this platform is just that. So not only is me teaching or Jesse or Tiffany Haddish and Debbie Allen, you know, we got some of the stars that's going to be on there, Angela Yee, you know, teaching entrepreneurship. And, you know, we also are highlighting the successful guy or girl with the plumbing business and the landscaping business. Listen, I was cutting grass, hustling for money when I was, you know, a child. If I knew that that could be a business model and it could be a landscape business, I can make $1 million from it, and knew how to think that way at that point, that could have changed a lot of people's lives. You know, that could change a young kid who just cutting hair, you know what I'm saying, in high school, not knowing, okay, this is how you open up a barbershop and this is how you can be successful. This is a good business model and business plan and direction, how you do it. So we're trying to, and it's purposeful. It's all about giving back. And one thing that we launched it probably Black Friday going into the 1st of December. We've been filming classes. We'll probably do another push Juneteenth weekend to aiming for. And as we continue to raise money for that company also, which that company is doing pretty good, we're going to keep putting it out there. Hopefully we have one landing space where a person, no matter what color we are, we're going to have a very black and brown space where you can tap in and you can learn about damn near everything. That's the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do. You want to start a website, you know what I'm saying? You want to start a blog site, you want to, anything, that's what we plan on bringing everybody. And financial literacy, the goal is trying to pick what we want to do and kind of what matters and help everybody on, you know what I'm saying? To onboard the right people to start teaching.
Okay. That sounds like a lot.
I'm long-winded too. Sorry.
That's fine.
I don't know how you gonna chop this shit up. I'm talking.
Got it. We got professionals. Before I let you go, I ask everyone general questions, just like general life questions.
Yes.
The first one is, what's 3 pieces of advice you would give someone that wants to follow your career track?
3 pieces of advice. First is you got to do. A lot of us sit idle with ideas and things, and of course there's influences and people that may not believe in your grand dreams or ideas, and they let that get to them. But I'd be like, F that, nobody gonna know what's in your heart. So sometimes you gotta just take that leap of faith and just do. I took the leap of faith and I just did, and it kind of worked out. You're gonna bump your head. It's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna fail. All the blessings. We talked about all the pretty stuff. It wasn't always easy. I've made money, lost money. Had to deal with family when I got money because it was a bunch of things in that journey. That wasn't pretty and wasn't perfect. And like I said, you may fail, but you got to just do. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I would say is if you're trying to do you use the tools that you have to do research.
Okay.
Use the tool that you do to there's information now out here. When I started, we didn't have the internet wasn't popping like this. There wasn't these type of conversations. There weren't the symbols and all these other things that you got to do. Use the information and be knowledgeable about what you want to do. And that's any career, and especially when you talk about getting a job and trying to get your feet wet in one of those places, it's always good. And I always take people serious that come to me that kind of know what's going on and lead with how they can be an asset to what I may have going on. That could get you in the door fast. If you come to you like, hey, I follow the page. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing these graphic designs. How about you check this out? You know what I'm saying? And see what you think. You might think about, damn, she's dope. I might want to hire her. This could add value to what I'm doing. So research, be knowledgeable. You have the tools out there. And if you go and look for something, be an asset. And the third last thing is probably perseverance. This is one of the cardinal principles of Omega Psi Phi, but I hold it deep to my heart. Life is not easy, especially for Black people. You're listening. Don't get discouraged if you fail. Don't get discouraged by age. Don't get discouraged by the people around you, because usually that's what happens. Perseverance. Just keep at it.
Okay. What keeps you up at night?
Now my son. I got a whole new purpose. So that's my son doing the most important thing right now. I took a different the last couple years. I think it's added to what I'm doing right now. I'm thinking about, all the accolades and everything I've gained in the music business is great. but now I'm working on things that, I want to leave behind in life to make my son feel proud of me, you know? So, um, that's what I kind of care. Legacy. That's what I
Like,
care. Yeah.
what's one vice you wish you could give up?
One vice I wish I could give up.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Man, I don't know if I want to give up any of my vices. I mean, uh, wait, yeah, I don't know.
If you don't have anything, that's fine.
Yeah, man. People say I'm drink. I'm a social drinker though. This business is social all the time, so
Okay.
I'm a social drinker.
Okay.
But I guess health as well. Maybe I gotta tone down to that. Like I said, I want to be around to see my son get old and stuff. So
Protect that liver. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I gotta protect the liver. So maybe I gotta limit myself at social activities.
What's your biggest professional regret?
Biggest professional regret. I don't have any.
Okay.
I don't have it. I've had failures, but each one of those I was able to learn from and grow, and it helped me become a better professional. So I don't regret any of them. I took them on the chin, and I use them to help evolve myself.
Okay. What's one thing you've always wanted to try, but you've been too scared to?
One thing I always want to try. She giving the questions. Whew, I think that lately, this is a more recent thing, right? Because I'm trying to be in touch with self and things like this.
Okay.
So people trying to convince me to do these damn shrooms and ayahuasca and all these different these healing plants, and Lord, the people that's done it, like the property, the pitch and promotion is like A1. And I'm like, yo, give me one of them. But then I'm like, oh, it's the control. I like to have control of things. But both of those things seems like you just gotta have to let it happen and just be free and lose. So it's the fear of not having control of my body and my mind. But on the flip side, all the promoters are like, man, that looks great. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the best thing that's happened to you this year?
Best thing that's happened this year.
Yeah.
Recently. I think I can't. There's two great things. Can I do two?
Why not?
Okay. Well, the grant I got from Apple, $300,000 grant I got from Apple to literally help these kids and 3 other HBCUs. After they learn the basics of these careers in music, they get to come to Atlanta, the 4 different colleges this summer to put out albums, and Apple is going to support them in a big way. So literally got money to help these schools and to help these kids grow and get hands-on experience of being executives and what it takes to be an artist that I get to spearhead. And the other thing is this other partnership with Pepsi's energy drink Rockstar.
Let's talk about that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're building a culture lab out here in Atlanta, which is also just another space where Black creatives could come, from around the city and have a incubator space that's going to be a think tank and a podcast room, and they're going to have, this LED screen and that they can use, and the rooftop, and just have a place where now we're helping the future creatives, marketers come together and develop ideas, not only to incubate in the space, but also to work with the Rockstar brand and lend them ideas. So, again, all this ties into having these places to help these young Black kids to get opportunities,
right?
Get opportunities in this world that we're living in.
Okay. Who's the last person that you texted?
Last person that's just Let's see. Last person I text was, oh, my guy Ray. He's like the damn GM. I call him at Jackson State. They got a big Dion got a gala this weekend. And he texted me out right before the call to tell me, call him up. I know it's probably a production thing. We're trying to pull all these artists. So I've been trying to help any way I can.
Okay.
With that.
When's the last time you cursed someone out?
Man, on a serious tip, what kind of cursing? Like,
I mean, I don't know. It's everyone's.
I mean, I curse my homies every day. Like, what the fuck, nigga, you talking about? You boy, you full of shit. Like, that's like an everyday thing with the homies.
Okay.
Especially with the bros. Like, I curse them. Like, seriously though. I can't even remember because I try not to let people affect my energy, man. I want to stay looking young, man. I want to be stress free. So I can't remember last time I seriously cussed anyone out. I'd be avoiding conflict. I'd be trying to keep my peace.
Keep your peace. What trend in music would you like to see end? Oh.
Trend in music I would like to see end. I would like to see the ending of putting hip hop in a box and having everybody compete, you know, one chart. When hip hop is involved so much, you know, it deserves its fair share. Like rock music has classic rock and heavy metal and AC and all these different sectors within that genre. Like, it's time now. Hip hop is evolved enough, and I think it causes a lot of conflict, and it causes a lot of mental issues with a lot of these artists who feel like they can't compete for these #1 stops when the popular music is out and dominating the charts, when it should be, you know, whatever it is, trap hip hop, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know, start breaking down our, you know, we've evolved in hip hop and R&B, and it's the largest genre in the world. So it should be treated as that way and not put inside of one box. So I think that needs to end.
Okay. Last question. It could either be about God or it could be about music. Which direction would you like to go?
Let's talk about God.
Okay. So last question. If you could ask God one question and he would answer loud and clear, what would you ask him?
I can ask God one question.
Only one, though.
Jeez. I should have picked music.
No, the music one question is hard too. So
one question.
Yeah, you only get one. So
and I can ask him. I would a question. I would ask him, you know, is he satisfied with me? Is he satisfied with the things I'm doing in his name? Is he satisfied with the things I'm doing? Is he happy with me with the things I've been doing since he came into my life and put me on this purposeful journey? So if I know it's that'll give me confidence to, I mean, I'm still gonna keep going, but that definitely, you know, that's that.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah, you dog, you doing your thing. I'm like, yeah, doing my thing. I can't tell me nothing. You know?
Okay, well, that's it. That's all the questions I have for you.
Well, I appreciate it. It was a great interview.